You are not of your own, for you were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body. And I think we have to remember too that Jesus himself is all about healing people's bodies. We could go on and on about his laying on of hands and transferring of energy, and was that Reiki, but we won't go there today. The two modalities that we're going to hear about and see today both began and are really originated and were embedded as part of religions. Yoga is a very important part of Hinduism. Yoga comes from the same root as the English word yoke, Y-O-K-E, which means to join together or unite. And the yogas of Hinduism are all ways to unite with Brahman, or the ultimate reality, God, if you will. And one of those yogas is Raja Yoga, which is meditation. And a very important part of the process of meditation for Hindus is the exercises, okay, to prepare the body for meditation. Similarly, can't quite say that word, Taoism is the place where Tai Chi and Qigong began. Chinese religion, Taoism, which you probably have heard even less about than Hinduism. But the Tao is ultimate reality, ultimate vitality or energy in the universe, in nature. And part of Taoism became using ways to kind of enhance that vitality for each individual. And so Tai Chi and Qigong were developed as ways to kind of harness that energy in the universe and make it part of you. So we are going to, is there a decision about who's going to start?
I'll go.
Okay. Okay, so Art's going to begin, and I think he wants you to have a little space so you can try stuff, either seated or standing, whatever works. And so you might need a little space in front of you, and maybe on each, because you might want to put your arms out. So
Would you like this to stand now or wait?
no, well, he's going to talk
That's
too.
fine.
So
That's why I was asking.
you don't need to be here yet.
We're good students. But yes, you can stand or sit. I think Mary Beth will sit and do the same exercises that I'll do standing. It's almost as effective seated as it is standing, or they are. But before we do anything, get comfortable. If you're sitting, sit chi. That means more or less to the front of the chair. In other words, no. Spine relatively straight, but not tense. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Float your hands to your tummy. We're going to go out to the side, up to the sky with a very gentle breath. Those of you who've been in my class, good deep breath, but not a medium breath. I'll give you the science behind that, and you can check me. And modify everything that I do. In other words, if your shoulder isn't working right and we are doing this, don't do that. Be very careful. Okay, float your hands to your tummy and give yourself a nice slow inhale through the nose if possible. Pause for a moment at the top and then come down your center line with a long, slow exhale. Again, easy. Feel that oxygen coming in through the nose, mind and body. One more, just a tad slower. I'm going to have a mini version of my class. We're going to do some Tai Chi movements in a little while. I'll explain that to you. But we're going to start with something Mary Beth mentioned called Qigong. Tai Chi is hundreds of years old. Qigong is thousands of years old. We got it from yoga, by the way. We thank you for that. Yoga came first. There are legends about a monk from what we now know as India wandering to what we now know as China and sharing some ideas of movement and breath work, spiritual work with some of the monks in China. And out of that grew this class. So we're going to do some very gentle movements from the world of Qigong.
We never take pictures, so I gotta remember.
Okay, I need another breath. Join me. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Pause a moment. And then come down that center line. Just a few words about what we're going to do. Well, Mary Beth's introduction was right on the button. You're going to be doing mind and body work. Your brain will move your body, but what we now know, what the ancients told us, but our science now has pretty much confirmed that some of the movements that you do are good for the mind. Do you know that when you stretch, you make nice chemicals? All those good chemicals, endorphins and dopamine, I believe, just from the simple act of stretching, coupled with good deep breathing. That's what separates yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong from a lot of regular exercises. So when we do the movements, think about or visualize the energy moving through the body. It's a very important aspect of what we do. Anyway, Qigong has some very, very simple movements that are very effective for the healing of the body, for enhancing the health of the body. The spiritual aspect may come from respiration. The root word of respiration is spirit. And many religions or cultures have used breathing modalities to enhance not just their body, but their connection to something higher. I probably won't get into that too much, but understand that the two modalities, the three with Qigong that we're going to do are mind, body, and spirit. Got all that? Okay. Interlock your hands, please, and modify everything. Just push up the sky. How easy is that? You could stand. If you stand, feet about shoulder width apart, please, and sink your feet into the earth while you put your head up into a beautiful blue sky. You just help your spinal column. A little stretch like that. So let's do that again. Drift down to center. Slight variation. On the way up, have your hip flexors, or what we call the quad, turn you to the left. On the way down, face front. On the way up, turn right. On the way down, face front. And do one more on each side in silence. Sun and sand, or sky and earth again. This time one hand goes up. I'm sending my left hand up. It's going to pull me to the right, and my right palm faces the earth. And then your palms face you for the switch. Have your hands very close to the body for the switch. The ancient masters say within one fist's distance. because theoretically, there's an energy exchange here from the sky or the heavens and earth, and then theoretically, you are feeding it into you with palms. So easy, couple it with good deep breathing. And one more on each side. Left hand will go up, pull you to the right just a bit, while the other hand faces the earth. That was easy, but good for you. Next is a very simple lung exercise. All we're going to do is have our hands in front of the heart area with the middle finger facing the middle finger. That's your fire finger. You have a little bit more electricity in that finger than the others. And your palm faces your palm. And all you'll do is pull your hands apart about 8 inches with a turn and an inhale. Hands at your heart. Have your hips take you to the left. Inhale. Exhales, you come back to the starting position. How simple is that? Let's do it again, but drift over to the right. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. Keep going. This is wise owl looks behind. Get the eyes working. For those of you standing, you can pick up the back heel. You'll be on the ball of the foot. It's an acupressure point down there you just activated. There you go. That's one. That's simple, but it needs work.
Did anybody feel tingling? I always feel tingling.
If you feel tingling, don't shake it off. It's good. That's the chi, the energy flowing. Chi is just a general word for the energy systems in the body. You're enhancing the flow of your chi through your cardiovascular system, your endocrine system, your urinary, the bladder system, just about everything. So when we do Qi Gong, we are doing energy work. It's very ancient, but science in this century, especially from Harvard, the Harvard Women's Health Study did a lot of work on this, proving what the ancient masters knew already. When you take a class with some of the modern day masters, you don't ask why. Just obey. You have to do some research over the next few years to figure out why this is good. So let's do that again, but nice and relaxed. In other words, no, yes, very gentle movements. Use your mind to try to picture energy there, whatever that means to you. We'll do 2 on each side. I'll try to do it in silence for you. Slower and deeper. If you're standing, widen your stance. Seated doesn't matter much. We're going to do the archer. The visual here is that you're pulling back a bowstring. You'll go to about the collarbone here, and the other hand will go out to the side. Your mind should be in your lungs. See them filling, 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 and then emptying. Palms face your lungs. Your mind is in your lungs. I know that sounds strange. Just use your imagination. Imagination is an image in motion. We do that a lot. We visualize things to get inside. The right hand comes back to about the right collarbone. A gentle turn to the left as the left hand drifts out. Look at your left thumb. Come back home. We'll go to the other side. No rush. Pulling the left hand back to the left collarbone, we fill our lungs gently, gently, gently. Pause for a moment. Long, slow exhale. The exhale scientifically should be a little bit slower than the inhale. Here we go. This is the archer. One more on each side. Keep going, let me look at you. Both sides. Next breath. Every season, we focus on a different area of the body. The ancient masters divided the year into 5 seasons: spring, summer, long summer, autumn, and winter. We are now in winter, and we're going to do some work for the lower back, kidneys, adrenals back here, hip flexors. Very easy movements from the deer sequence. We'll do one. When you're done with this movement, those of you standing will look like this. We're going to work the lower back. Same thing seated. You can make deer antlers. I like to tell my class it's perfectly okay to have fun while you're getting healthier. Okay. Deer antlers. Bring them over to the right hip. If you're standing, take a left step, hip turn to the left, a little knee bend for back help, and reach forward left with your antlers. This is called the deer rams. Let's do that again. Drift over to the right, inhaling, and go to the left, a little safe bend, ram, but in slow motion. For the word ram has some powerful implications, but we do it gently. One more. Inhale, put your mind into that lower back as you bend. 3 on the other side. Turn. Step, gentle turn, and a gentle bend. Working the lower back. Hip flexors. Inhale, step, and exhale. Take your knuckles, give yourself a nice little back. Smile. Let's do one more deer move. Very easy. This is the deer awakens. It's the first of 5 movements in the entire sequence. Make your antlers again. And all we're going to do is pick up the right antler and the left heel. Switch. Don't worry too much about getting left and right correct. The deer is awakening, and it's just doing a little stretch. There are bigger, stronger stretches later in the sequence, which we will not do today, but it's just a little movement. I like to call this movement one of those get off the couch movements. If you're like me, you can sit on that couch for way too long, and you know you should get up and move, but you don't want to. This is easy. Just get up and move the energy through your fascia, your connective tissue system. It's a fascinating spider web of energy moving through your body now, and we can enhance our health by moving the body to move the energy through there. Okay, let's have another good deep breath. Bones, brain. All I'd like you to do is have your wrists bring the hands up to about shoulder height and let them go back down. Those of you standing, as you come up, straighten the legs, but don't lock your knees. And then just a tiny little knee bend. Bring your hands towards your shoulders, palms down, fingers together. Wait, relax for a moment or two. When you work your fingers, you're working 6 energy channels that go to and from the brain. So some of our exercises look really simple, but you're helping to move that energy through the body. Oh, where are we? Yes, here we go. Spread the fingers apart. This is simply called expand the chest. Go out to the side and back just a little bit. Don't squeeze too hard back there. Elbow bend, knee bend for those of you standing. Inhale. One more. Let's combine both of those. Up, down, up, down, and come back up, and we'll go In, out, in, down. Let's do it again, a little slower. In, out, in, down. One more. Nice deep breath. That was Qigong, energy work. You notice there's hardly any footwork. We're going to do 2 Tai Chi movements. And for those of you seated, it's going to be really easy. Standing folks, I expect excellent stances. I'll talk you through that. Okay. Keep in mind, when you do Qigong, which we just did, it's a great phrase from the ancient masters, you could do an entire Qigong sequence, entire Qigong class in the space that it takes 1 ox to sleep. I think that's about 5 square feet. So all of our movements were done here. When we do Tai Chi, if you do a Tai Chi class, you're moving around the gym floor a great deal, which is one reason why when I do my Zoom classes, it's mostly Qigong, because trying to imitate movements invertedly, if that's a word, is very challenging online. So when we do the Tai Chi class, it's really mostly Qigong. Okay, here's a Tai Chi stance for you. You start on the shoulder width stance. You can mimic this even if you're seated. Just turn a little bit to the right, and then take a left step to about shoulder width. This is known as a bow and arrow stance. If you have room standing people, take the right foot to the left and then out to the right again. So I know we don't have much room, so let's do it again from the original position. So turn and step. Step gently, heel, sole, toe. We call that stepping chi. So even when you do something as simple as a step, you're getting the body and the mind working together. Back it up. First movement is called brush, knee, and push. It's going to look like this. By the way, Tai Chi was a martial art 300 years ago. It was done lightning fast. What we've learned over the past 3 centuries is that when you do a martial art, very slowly, coupled with the breathing, the spiritual aspect perhaps, it becomes a healing art. So the movements look very karate-ish, but they're done with love. Brush, knee, and push. Let's do this with no feet first. Hands by the tummy, or hold a chi ball. Bring that over to the right hip, and then let the left hand cross the body from the right side of the body to the left, and the other hand just pushes forward. Good. About shoulder height, not too high. Let's do that again. From here. The other side. Chi ball on the left hip. Right hand does the brush knee. Left does the push. Anybody feel motivated?
Yeah, I'm feeling that way.
So, a side note, I am not a good athlete at all. And that's one reason why I love these modalities, because they teach you everything from stepping. Some of you probably said to yourself, I know how to step. But you learn step by step, so to speak, and that makes it a little bit easier to learn. Okay, brush, knee, and push. Left, then right. People on the left hip, take it to the right hip. Left step, my standees. Left hand brushes past the knee as the right hand pushes forward. Bring your hands to the left hip. Right step, right hand does the brush knee, and the other hand does the push. I'm losing you, aren't I? Happens all the time. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale here. You're working the hip flexors with the turn, and then turn again. Left step, brush knee, and push. Bring your hands to the left hip, right step, brush knee, and push.
This is watching.
Do I have time for one more?
It looks, I think, we don't want to cut into.
Okay, one more. This is called Fair Lady Works Shuttle. The names are ancient. I do not make up these names. When you're done, you'll look like this. From the martial arts point of view, if you and I are fighting and she throws a kick, brush knee and push, that's probably what it was back then. This is, she wants to bop me in the head, we would block and do that. But we're in the church. On the floor, very gentle. Okay, Fair Lady Works Shuttle, no feet. Let's just practice the upper body. Bring your hands to the hip like you did before, but the lead hand, in this case the left one, instead of going down, goes up with a slight turn, and the other hand pushes under it. Let's do that again. Turn, up you go with the left, push under it. Let's go to the other side, drift over to your left, right palm comes up. Good. And again. So. Okay, now there are a lot of variations in the world of Tai Chi, and watching you, I see you've had training in different styles of doing this. Okay, now we add the exact same step that we had with the brush knee. So bring your hands over to the right. Left step, left arm up, right goes middle. Let's do that again. Inhale here. Exhale there. Ah, better. The other side. Bring your hands to the left. Give me a right. Fair Lady Works Shuttle. One more. Inhale. And when you do those things slowly, it enhances the flow of energy through the body. Let's do two more things to end my little session. First, bamboo in the wind. Bring your feet very close together. This could be done seated also. And just hold position. But let your body move a little bit. You may want to go forward and back. You can help it. You can do figure eights, but very gently. Side movements or no movement. Just give yourself 2 good long Qigong breaths. And the last movement is hug a tree. Nice wide stance. Gently float your hands up to heart height. Middle fingers very close to middle fingers. Palm faces the palm. Space in the underarm, so you don't want to restrict the flow of Qi. Have the elbows out of it. Give yourself 2 more gentle breaths. Bring your hands to your tummy, come up your center. 1 more good deep breath together as a group. You may have questions. I will stay after and take whatever questions you may have.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
Does anybody have an Apple Watch in here? Okay, have you ever looked at your heart rate variability? Okay.
Yeah.
Breathing changes your heart rate variability, it raises it, and a high heart rate variability is associated with longevity. So I thought,
We thank you for that. I was taught as a young Qigong guy that metal kind of interferes with the flow of energy through the body. So my Apple Watch is in the car. The master did say we are allowed to keep a very important piece of metal, but I tend to take most of that off. Okay, next.
Do you want to introduce Danae, Joanne?
Okay, let's forward. Oh, no, that's fine. Go ahead.
she's gonna introduce herself.
I'm gonna,
Danae.
yeah, I
Danae.
have so much to tell you guys, so I have a PowerPoint.
Oh,
We're doing a PowerPoint today.
Okay, great.
While you're doing that, I can just say, I've known Danae since she was in kindergarten with my son.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow. And she is just a Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
For sure.
Artist, poet, dancer, yogi, inspiring woman, so.
So,
And while they're doing that, I want to say, remember that Mary Beth is doing Tai Chi on Thursday afternoons by Zoom. It's in the bulletin, right? Yep.
it is, yeah.
Yes.
So I do, Donna, actually Donna Art and I all do it together.
Yeah.
But several people have asked me to go back to in-person.
Okay.
So we're thinking about doing that. Particularly if we can combine it, because there's a few people who do it on Zoom that want to stay that way.
And then Danae, I hope, is going to tell us about how we can do further things with her.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing in studying the mind stuff, learning new things really helps us. So, you know, a lot of people do crossword puzzling, but really going deep and learning new things. And that's one of my goals for the year, is to do more of that. So anyway, so this is a chance to learn mind and body.
So do you want me to put the PowerPoint up now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Whoops, it's not, oh, wait. I'm not thinking, that's, okay. So,
Danae is a fabulous poet.
Thank you. I don't think I'm gonna share any poems.
Okay.
I have other things.
I have to just get your PowerPoint up. That's my problem. I didn't do that. I have too many windows here. So which one is it?
Right there.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect, beautiful. Okay, so. I'm gonna- Come back to this. Oh, no, that's not gonna work. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so now let's put it on slideshow. Start the slideshow. There. There.
All right.
There.
Do you
We're not
mind-
gonna have to do that today.
Do you mind hanging out there, or do I need to walk back and forth to change this?
No. I'll do it for you.
Okay.
I'll do it for you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Danae. I'm the owner of Danae Wilkerson Arts and Wellness here in Ocala, Florida. Today I'll be giving you a presentation on, of course, yoga and dance, entitled Living Faith Through Dance, Stretch, and Stillness.
Mm.
I'm just going to give you a little bit about myself and my purpose. I've grown up here in Ocala, Florida. My church home is Covenant Missionary Baptist Church, now New Covenant Missionary Baptist Church. I come from a long line of community activists, people that are big in our community. My mom's a sorority woman, Delta Sigma Theta. So I grew up in Delta Academy, and we serve, different nonprofits, gather stuff for kids for Christmas. Anything that is community oriented and volunteer based. Those are things that she instilled in me as a child, and things that I carry forth now in my life. And I put churches because I've also been over to Church at the Springs. I love that they host, what do you call that? I'm going blank. Apologies. They host different, not necessarily seminars, but like
Activities.
no.
We're trying to help.
Yes, I know. Anyway, they do a lot of group things. So again, community is a big thing for me. Finding like-minded individuals, fellowshipping, like Bible studies. That's what we're saying. Different Bible studies. Oh, thank you,
Sheree.
And then of course, community organizations that I work with right now, Arts and Health, Ocala Metro. We bring arts and healing to different people in the community. So you've got your, you've got Pearl Project, we're at Pearl Project, we're over at the different community centers, Howard Academy, Mary Sue Rich, different, we're at ARC, the Adults with Disabilities Transition Life Center. I just started dancing with them. So just bringing arts, visual arts, singing, music. We're in the hospital, so HCA, trauma hospital, art with patients bedside. So this is definitely something that is not just artistic and not just health oriented, but also like physically, mentally, spiritually healing. So things that I want to show you. I'll leave those in next. Okay, so always as a kid, something that has been really important to me and that stood out to me is communication. Just for as long as I can remember, communication has been a word that has
Written some
resonated.
tape. I thought you said for me to tape it.
A communicator. I've always, I don't know, like strive for love and affection and those things like that. So I just wanted to touch on that. My intention in bridging faith, so we got yoga, dance, and art and movement together is all for communication. So communication is the sending and receiving of information. So we'll start with worship, because I do praise dancing. I praise dance for different events, praise dance at my church. You see my Art Academy kids at Greater New Hope Church in the Shores. We do praise dancing every third Sunday. And then we danced at, I believe that was NAACP Day or either Martin Luther King Day in the park. But worship as a form of communication with God. So prayer is a direct line of communication with God, allowing us to express gratitude, seek guidance, and confess our struggles. It's an intimate act of worship. And then also praise and worship through singing, dancing, or spoken word, poetry. Worship becomes a way of proclaiming God's goodness and sharing our hearts with Him. And then communication as a form of worship. Intentional words and actions, something that we do a lot of in yoga. So we start off in meditation, we start off with silence, especially in my classes. And I like to present an intention statement, and it might have blanks in it. So today I'm going to focus on blank. Today I want to let go of this, and maybe bring this into my life. So we'll start with, we got a verse, Ephesians 4:29. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be encouragement to those who hear them. So not only others are hearing your words, but you are hearing your words. And something that's been big for me in my life and the different journeys that I've been on since childhood is speaking life into myself and what I'm doing, especially as a business owner, because business rises and it falls. You learn something, you let it go. Interacting with people in our day-to-day lives, especially in today's age, we want to be intentional with our words and actions. And then we go communication down as an art and expression, dance, yoga, and other visual arts. I do paint as well. Communicate emotions and stories, offering these as acts of worship. So I teach an African fusion class, which is African dance, contemporary dance, and classical modern dance. I do have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in dance. So most of my dance classes are from a classical perspective, like dance studio style. But African dance, especially, and praise dance is a story. So I'm dancing out this story, I'm acting out the story, I'm feeling the story. Art mentioned visuals. I'm a very visual person. So let's say I'll bring some movement into this section. So you can stay sitting. Just how he had us bring our arms in front of us. So you're gonna bring them out almost as if you're holding a bowl. And I want you to imagine that you're splashing water on your face. And then it has like a rolling effect. So in my classes, we may do this during our meditation portion, and we're bringing movement into our bodies. And I'm telling you to imagine, splashing cold water. People that suffer with anxiety, or maybe they're having a traumatic event, they like to put cold water on you, a cold bottle, something that's going to bring you back into your body. Because as humans, you can calm your hands. As humans, when we get stressed out, it's easy to disassociate. And we just move away. We just come out of ourselves because we really just need to step away from the issue. But when doing this, you feel that cold air coming towards your body. You can imagine the cold water splashing on your face. You can imagine washing away or letting go of anything that you need to let go of. And then I have another scripture for you. Psalms 19:1. the heavens proclaim the glory of God, the skies display his craftsmanship. And I want to remind you that all creation communicates God's glory and our bodies can do the same. So of course we got our visual art. God is the creative, the most creative person. And then we have the artists that are really in sync with their purpose and really in sync with their gifts. And they can create things that literally look lifelike. And our bodies are the same. Our bodies were made to heal. As we work on ourselves and we do fitness and we do dance, you become a work of art. You watch your body physically change, your makeup changes, when you take tests, your blood tests, you notice everything physically begin to change as you begin to change. You let go of habits, you gain new habits. You are a work of art. Sorry for talking really fast. All right, and then testimony. So I'll give you some personal testimony. So again, communication has always been something important to me. And a big thing about, having a walk with Christ is our testimonies. Sometimes those are the biggest things that we leave an impact on with people. But if we don't express those things, they don't know. They don't know what God has done in your life. So something that we notice now in our adolescence, they're navigating, finding out who they are, they're navigating being in, intense situations, they're navigating friendships, people bullying. I experienced those things as an adolescent, not feeling as cute as the next girl or, just being depressed about things. There was a time in middle school where I was physically harming myself. And so that was not only scary for my parents, but that was scary for me, not knowing if I wanted to be here, not knowing if I wanted to stay here. But dancing, I've always danced. I've been dancing since I was 6. So those are the things that got me through, being with other dancers, going to the dance studio every day. My mom pouring into me as dance, like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, speaking life into me. Health. So I have what is called Chiari malformation. It is when the brainstem is longer than it should be, and it kind of comes down into the base of the skull. So in 8th grade, we got into a car accident, like a little fender bender thing, but I was already experiencing like really bad headaches, numbness on my right side, things like, like, oh, mom, oh, you're just complaining this. But once we had the whiplash from the car accident, they did the MRI and they could see that I had that. So now, they put 2 and 2 together. But the only way to kind of relieve that is I would have to have brain surgery. So they would physically have to go in there and enlarge, the base of my skull to release that pressure that was on my brainstem. So of course, that's not something she wanted to do, as a child. But once I graduated college in 2013, my symptoms started to get worse. So I ended up having that surgery. Thankfully, it was successful and had a wonderful neurologist. Amen. But I do have this nice scar down the back of my neck. And they did, I believe, shave down a couple cervical vertebrae that we weren't expecting. But anyway, I came out. I think I grew a little bit, like a half an inch. That's a good thing. But if it wasn't for my dance background and the health status I was in, I don't think that I would have been able to come out of that. Like, I'm in this neck brace. I had barely any movement in my neck, all these staples. Just knowing what I knew is what kept me moving. And then not even a full month after that, the dance teacher at Bellevue, I went to Bellevue, I was in a dance program. She went into maternity leave. And so she asked me to step in as interim director. So the way God works is crazy. And, it got me up. It got me moving. So I ended up teaching them for a couple semesters over at Bellevue High School. And so, like I said, God works in mysterious ways. But I bring all this back to dancing and yoga. As a dance professional in college, at dance camps, they always have you in ballet. They have you in modern. They have you in something cultural. They have you in yoga. They have you in Tai Chi or gyrokinesis, things that are going to keep your body moving, things that are going to keep your body stretching, things that are going to keep you in your mind. Because again, everything is messing with your mind. You got audition. I'm not as good as that person. It's all about our words. If the main thing I can tell you about yoga outside of it being associated with another religion, is scientifically, it's physically really good for you. I've got some scriptures. So these are in relation to dance. So we got Psalms 149:3. Let them praise his name with dancing and make music to him with timbrel and harp. Things dancing. How kids are dancing from like little. They start off dancing. Dancing is so good for you. And one thing that I notice with people that come into my dance class, they're concerned about either their age, they're concerned about whether they can do it, they're concerned about their flexibility. None of that matters. All that matters is you know how to bounce. That's all that matters. Yes. For a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. So things to remember when we get into those dark places. These are the things that are going to bring us out: the art, the moving, the dancing, the singing. 2 Samuel 6:14, David danced before the Lord with all his might. David, the guy after God's own heart, danced for him. So, they're giving you these nuggets. All right, so we're getting into the science. Dance, yoga, and science. Scientific benefits. Art talked about the heart health. Dance is an aerobic activity that improves heart health, increases stamina, enhances circulation. Studies show that it can lower the risk of heart disease. Muscle strength and flexibility. Dance involves dynamic movements to strengthen muscles, improve posture, and increase joint flexibility. So you can increase your flexibility by dancing, and you don't have to stretch. Dancing is going to make you stretch without you realizing you're stretching. Memory. I like to call dance a brain game, and I really enjoy challenging you. That goes for all my classes because they're kind of a mix of everything. Learning choreography stimulates the brain by improving memory, focus, and the ability to adapt to new challenges. So if you start to doubt yourself, if you want to take a dance class or a fitness class and you're concerned about knowing what to do, know that it's challenging your brain and you're actively growing new brain cells. Just because we're aging doesn't mean that our brain has stopped. If you move and if you do those deep breathing, you're actively growing new brain cells, making new space, and keeping away dementia and all the things that are really hitting our community and society right now. Mood. So we want to be boosting our mood right now, especially in these hard times. Dance releases endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals, which reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. And of course, community building, communication, building. We were made for community. I'm gonna repeat that 2 more times. We were made for community, and I love that you guys are all together and that you do this every week. We were made for community. Dance often occurs in group settings, fostering social connections, reducing loneliness, and promoting a sense of belonging. And we have a 2003 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that dancing reduces the risk of dementia by 76%, making it more effective than other physical activities like cycling or walking. And then our community offers a lot of dance classes right now, if y'all haven't noticed. So a lot of them don't cost. So go dance. And then we're getting into yoga. So yoga, of course, is going to improve your flexibility. Regular practice stretches your muscles, connective tissues, and improving overall flexibility and range of motion. And I just want to touch on flexibility because, again, this is something that people say, or they won't come to my class because they feel like they already have to be flexible. Any yoga session is for you. And one thing that really plagues us as humans is that we have eyes sometimes. And so we get into those classes and we see where everyone else is at. And I have to remind you that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Like that person's grass comes with that person's things. So they might be flexible, but they might also have other things. So focusing on your circle. Every day our bodies are different. So one day your leg might be here and next minute it might be here. One minute your hands are working, next minute they're not working. And this is something that yoga, that mindfulness and that notice keeps us from getting so upset about. Because again, I've got my thing. People always talk about how much energy I have, but I have my health things that you don't see, but doing yoga every day, I know how to move through those things to where it looks like I'm moving fluid and all those other things, but some things are bothering. We got our pain management. Yoga alleviates chronic pain. conditions such as back pain, arthritis, and fibromyalgia. Improve breathing. When I first started doing yoga, it physically made me cry. That's how much anxiety I had. That's how much I walked around like this because I'm so stressed out. I wasn't breathing. And of course, those that notice the breathing, especially with Tai Chi and Qigong, it can make you dizzy at first because you haven't been taking in all that oxygen. So it's going to improve. It's going to expand your lungs. It's also going to bring your anxiety, your stress way down. And when someone starts acting up, it's going to trigger that big breath that's going to keep you from putting them in the headlock. Stress reduction, stress cortisol level, stress, relaxation, and calmness. And then, of course, our sleep quality. We always want some good sleep. And just a couple yoga poses at night in your bed, like putting your knees into your chest or rolling onto your side, maybe doing some neck rolls. We'll do some neck rolls right now. But a lot of those things will get your body calmed down. And of course, putting your phone away, turning your screens off, some soft music. So let's get into a comfortable position. We're gonna find our seated position that Art gave you earlier, where you sit up a little bit on the edge of your chair. So we got a nice, strong, active spine. We'll start with a body scan. So you can rest your hands on your thighs. Eyes can be open or closed. I want you to tune into your seat. So your seat is actually connecting with the chair that you're sitting on. And you should feel like two little nodules in your seat. We call those your sits bones. And then I want you to imagine there's energy shooting straight up through the sits bones, up your spine, and out to the top of the head. So you're getting taller and taller, as if you're trying to touch something in the top of your head. We're all gonna take a nice big breath here. Arms can stay down. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. So we're gonna do one more. Big breath in. We're gonna bring some gentle movement into the head and neck. So I just want you to gently tilt the head up towards the ceiling. You can go as far up as you can comfortably. And then you're gonna bring the head back down towards your thighs. So we're just gonna keep doing that up and down movement with the head and the neck. And I just want you to notice how your neck is feeling without making any judgments. Is it cracking? Is it tight? Is it feeling okay? And also notice your breathing while you're doing this. At any point, does it get stuck? And we're gonna make our way back to our neutral head and neck. All right, now we're gonna look over, so side to side. Don't make any faces at your neighbors. So side to side, looking over a shoulder and then going the other way. And then again, noticing your mobility here. Noticing the cracks, pops, or crunching that might be happening.
Here she is. Good morning. That gal's putting it in.
And we're gonna come back to the center.
That's good.
Now I want you to turn your head to the right. And I want you to think about drawing a smile with your nose. So you're gonna draw a smile down the front and over to the other side. So it's a half circle too. So either a smile or a half circle with your head in. And we're just breaking these pieces down piece by piece. And then if it's comfortable, maybe finding yourself a full neck circle. So you're going around and then you're going up, finding that up motion and around. I almost like to imagine I'm drawing a circle with my nose. Down and up in the air. Yes, nice. And we always like to go the other way. So we're going to reverse that circle and go the other way with our circle. You start to yawn, that's good. You're bringing in that parasympathetic nervous system, your calming system. Let's bring it back to a neutral neck. We're going to our shoulders. We like to hold tension in our shoulders. So let's go ahead and start with some gooey shoulder rolls. So we're going to go up, back, down, and They might be sore, they might be stuck. Did you know your muscles actually have fuzz on them? Like actual fuzz. That's why it feels like you're shaking out cobwebs in the morning. 'Cause it's actually fuzz. We're gonna reverse, going the other way. And then we're gonna alternate to kind of like a bicycle. One is up, one is down. Kind of getting dancy here. Adding some music.
Getting with it, is it?
Okay.
Getting with it.
And other way. Shake that off. I'm gonna have you take a little bit wider stance if you can in your chair. All right, you guys kind of did this towards the end with art. He kind of had you do a figure 8. So focusing in on your hips, I want you to think about like hula hooping in your chair. So we like to do these hip circles, and if you have the space, you can take it into the torso and add in the head and neck. But we trap emotions and things in our body. And that's why they say the body keeps score. You know, all that stress, all that inflammation is what's causing the disease and everything. And you want to release that. We're going the other way. Release your stress. Yes. It's also going to release your low back. If you have low back pain, these are good for low back. It's also really calming. Yes. Bring it back up. And then I like to do this one. We're gonna do a shoulder shrug. So you're gonna bring your shoulders up as high as you can. I want you to take a big breath and we're gonna hold our breath at the top, okay? All right, so one big breath in, bring them up. Hold your breath. And we're gonna drop it fast. And again, shrug them up. Hold it in. Drop it fast. One more, good. Oops. All right, so now I'm giving you my class. So join me for classes. I teach yoga and stretching as a physical and mental practice, free from religious rituals, focus on health and well-being. I love religion. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I love religion. I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna look into it. First and foremost, all glory to God. I'm a Christ follower, but I do like to educate myself on other religions. Because one thing about, I don't know, the Tower of Babel comes into mind and how everybody speaks different languages. But when you read, people are saying the same thing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. So, Arts and Health, you catch me at Arts and Health on Saturday mornings, 10 to 11 a.m. This is a hybrid class, just like the one that you're doing. You can either come to me in person or you can Zoom in. It's $20 for the month, averaging out to $5 a class, or you can drop in at $10 a class, and you will go to Arts and Health Ocala Metro to register for this class. And then graceful stretching. So graceful stretching was an idea that came to me, like a God idea that came to me. I really wanted to mix dance and stretching together. So this one is it's got a nice mix of dancing movements as well as like mindfulness, and then we may hold in a pose. And then of course I'm modifying at all times. So you can be in a chair. We have chairs, you can be on your mat. I like for people to come as they are. So whatever you need, I want you to be safely able to do that in the space. And don't ever feel like you have to compromise. This is how we encourage and we inspire others by showing up authentically. And then my next class, next slide, please. So these are getting into my Denea Wilkerson Arts and Wellness classes. All right. So at Magnolia Art Exchange, I have 2 locations. So today is Sunday. I have candlelight yoga and stretch. So it's a whole bunch of candlelight, such a mood. And it is at the old train station downtown. It's at 4 o'clock. You can drop in. Well, I don't have drop-ins. I need to know you're coming in the area that we're in. But a single class is $18, and then if you do any of the other packages, it averages out to $10 or less for the packages. And then these packages are interchangeable. So you can use the package for both stretching and also African dance.
Mm.
And then African dance is very percussive. So, we got our stumping going on. Pounding. It is very much storytelling. We're going across the floor. So like I said, I'm a studio trained dancer. So those brain games, I have you going across the floor. We're dancing in lines. We're dancing in different directions. And then I'm teaching you all these things so you don't have to feel like you just have to get in there and go. All right.
Mm.
No, I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. We're gonna go over it. We're working on body isolation, working our hips, all that good stuff. It's very fun, upbeat music. And then I have one more slide for you. And then this is my second location. We're at Silver Spring Shores Community Center. Every Monday at 1 p.m. if you're available, I'm teaching Play-Doh basket weaving. And so we've been at this for over a month now, and it's really fun. I provide all the materials for you. And then I have different types of string. We're working on starting the basket. We work on handles, working on adding beats, all types of things. Teach you how to dye it, teach you about the culture of the basket weaving from an indigenous perspective. I really enjoy it.
That's great.
And then of course there is a Monday class there as well. So you can take African class twice a week if you like.
Mm.
I thank you guys so much for having
Oh,
me.
yeah. You're gonna send us this. Can we get either your whole thing or just the thing about your classes?
Of course.
Yeah, do you mind? Okay.
Do you want me to send it to you?
Oh, Mary Beth can just
Yeah, could
copy
you-
it.
Yeah, could you send it to me? Can I,
I think I should be able to share that.
Thank you, Art and Danae. Those are wonderful. Thank you. Just a couple of things I promised y'all and I haven't forgotten. We got a little bit of activity going on right now with planning for Wednesday. But I did find the exam and we will get that out to people. Remember Buddy McKay, the tool
that's
that
great.
we use for prayers. We also are gonna talk about buddies next week. And I have a way I think we're gonna do that. But, if you want a buddy to kind of talk about what you're trying, maybe check in once a week, or maybe you want to go to a class together, We're gonna do a storyboard thing where you put your name up, what you're interested in, and see if we can do some matchmaking. Because I think everything tells you, Danae was talking about community, all the research shows doing things, have 2 or 3 people, even if it's just 2 or 3 people working on something and checking in helps. So thank you for everybody coming on this cold, cold day, and thanks to Art. What a great class. You know, thank you for Barbara and Joanne and Mary Beth for putting it together. I'll have a good week.
All right, you'll share the information about your.
That was
you'll share the
great.
information
That
about
was
your
fabulous. I
other
want to do the
classes
African, I
other
want to
than
do it all, but I want to do the African dance.
Let's do that with you. We do have extra sheets if y'all are filling out your weekly. what you're doing.
Questions?